Liangelo Ball, G3, G Honcho, he may be drawing interest from the New York Knicks and also the Miami Heat. But right now, we're going to focus on the New York Knicks. Sports Illustrated, I'm going to put a link to this article in the description box below this video. You guys can check this out. This was a piece by Ben Steiner. You know, he had put out a piece discussing why the New York Knicks should sign Liangelo Ball. This is an NBA reporter, you know. So what I want to tell you is Liangelo Ball perfectly fits New York City and the New York Knicks, and I'm gonna give you numerous reasons why. The New York Knicks are clearly on the uprise. They are doing something. They are making the positive steps. Have they hit the home run play just yet? Absolutely not. You know, but you're hearing rumblings of a Donovan Mitchell situation happening. Why is this important, Flight? Because you're looking at the New York Knicks possibly losing a bunch of shooting. You got to look at some of these names that's on the table. Emmanuel Quickly possibly on his way out the door. I don't know if y'all familiar with Quickly. This dude was bombing. I'm talking shooting 45-footers, you know, Quickly. Also, you're talking about Quentin Grimes, one of the premier 3-and-D young guys that's coming into the league right now. He could be on his way out the door. Obi Toppin. So you're talking about all three guys that could shoot the basketball, you know, could be gone, you know. That's when a guy like Liangelo Ball could come fit in. Not only will Liangelo Ball fit in with the young guys and possibly with the stars when they get here, but Liangelo Ball is best suited for New York City. When you look at a guy like Julius Randle, for instance, he's been shown he's not ready for New York City. You know, you're looking at a guy like Liangelo, who done been all over. You know, you're talking about a Chino Hills prodigy. You understand? Just let everything. You know, one of the best scorers, you know, out of the collection of the Ball family. You know, the best shooter, always been. You know, so we have to put things into the proper context, you know, with a guy like him coming to New York City, because New York is a cesspool. We all know the media is a frenzy. Liangelo Ball will run circles around the media in New York City. He will run circles around the cameras and all of the stuff. This is nothing that Liangelo is not accustomed to. Everything that New York City represents is Liangelo Ball. You know, not only will Liangelo just feed off that crowd, you know, because I think the New York Knicks, the Garden fans are probably the best fans in sports, you know, the most electric. You know, they will be behind Liangelo Ball 150,000% and want him to win. You know, they would be his biggest cheerleaders, you know, and then, like I said, they will have his back. And, you know, we all know the business side, you know, when you get into LeVar and you get into the whole Triple Bs, that's just a shoe-in New York City. Just, you done seen the pop-ups that they did. You know, this is before Jello even was a professional, you know, at the time. You know, I believe they were, I'm not even 100% sure if he was out of high school yet or not when they was in New York City doing the pop-ups. But, he would fit right in. A guy coming from California, New York City is just another big city to conquer. You know, and LeVar Ball would just be a king in New York City. I mean, he already is a king in New York City, and he ain't there. But he would just run New York. You know, I'm just telling you. You know, could you imagine Spike Lee, LeVar Ball, and all of the, oh man, when you're talking about just everything that they could do for the city, like the fans. And it's just, we took discussing the business side for 1 second. It's just crazy off court, you know, situations. You know, guys like Liangelo, guys like Lonzo, guys like LaMelo, they need to be in major markets, big cities. You understand? Because you start sticking these people in Oklahoma City. I mean, come on, man. You got to get these guys in major markets, you know, because these are major market basketball players, you know. Serious media, you know, just crazy. The media situation with these guys are crazy, so they just fit in with New York. But I want to get to the basketball floor for 1 second. R.J. Barrett would love to play with a guy like Liangelo. You know, he fits right in. When you're talking about a guy, let's say Julius is there, you know, you bring in RJ back. RJ loves to penetrate. He's a guy, even Brunson, he goes to the rim. You know, for a guy that's, people say is undersized, Brunson is always attacking. We've seen that in Dallas. RJ want to attack the rim, and we all know what some of these big guys want to do. Along with Julius, if he's still on the roster, then could you imagine the kickouts that they could have, you know, where Liangelo Ball could really flourish, you know. Also, when it's time to put the ball on the floor, Liangelo Ball will flourish as well. And I think all of these opportunities will happen for him in New York City, because New York needs a player like Liangelo. And I know with the elephant in the room, oh my God, what about Tom Thibodeau? What about Thibodeau? We all know the situation with Tom Thibodeau. You know, Tom Thibodeau got to get his shit together, number one, because you got a lot of young players on this roster, you know, that's coming in and that's here already. You know, you gotta, you know, just acquiesce to them a little bit. They're gonna make mistakes. A guy like Liangelo, I believe that Tom Thibodeau will give and take. If Liangelo Ball is doing what he's supposed to do offensively, I think he will take a little bit on the defensive side. But you know, you can't be giving up everything, you know, and I think that's what happened with Kemba Walker. That's what found himself out the rotation. Liangelo definitely will have to be consistent offensively under Tom Thibodeau, you know, but I believe that coming into training camp would be just magical. Mind you, none of this stuff is in play. This is just really a posed situation that came out by Sports Illustrated. Right now, Liangelo Ball is with the Hornets. You know, I don't know if he's going to be with their training camp or is he headed to Greensboro, but it seems to be he's headed in that track with the Hornets. You know, but he could be invited. I want to let everybody know Jello could go to anybody's training camp. He's not locked down to just the Hornets. You know, if the Knicks wanted to call him in for camp, he could go to the Knicks training camp. You know, and like I said, y'all let me know. I like the young assets they have. You talk about an RJ, when you talk about a Brunson, they got Jericho Sims. The list goes on, the Cam Reddishes of the world. This is the roster I think he could really grow with. You know, you do have a lot of veterans, but you got a lot of young players that's butting in to today's situations. You know, you got RJ coming into really not his prime, but he's looking to take a leap this year. You know, I think this is the collection of guys maybe he should be with that's trying to grow, a young team that's trying to grow together. You know, I think the Hornets is a great situation for him too. He might fit there the best. But I just think the Hornets got 1 foot in competing and 1 foot in not really knowing which direction they really want to move in. With a lot of contracts, it's not all their fault, but we're going to get into that on another day. But I wanted to touch on this with you guys because the New York Knicks name popped up. Like I said, I will have this article for you guys from Sports Illustrated. It will be in the description box below this video. Y'all could definitely tap in. You know, so I just wanted to pose this question out to the people. You know, how does Liangelo Ball fit with the New York Knicks? I like his fit. You know, like I stated before, you know, you got a lot of great young talent on this team. You know, and I think Liangelo Ball just could fit right in with all of them, you know, and take off, you know, and, you know what it is in New York City, man. Whatever you do in New York is magnified. So Liangelo Ball, man, he going to have the fan base on day one. And once he start putting in that work, we're going to be behind him 150,000%. So it's Flight Sports. You already know what it is, man. We pull back up tonight. You already know what time it is. We live. It's Flight Sports TV.